Welcome back to the Precision Trader University. In today's video, I once again want to take you into the market and show you how you could have used the most powerful trading tool in the stock market, BOOKMAP, and how you could have used this tool to turn the stock market into your own personal ATM machine. All right, so with that said, if you're not familiar with BOOKMAPs, very simple. It gives you a visual of the market where the buyers and sellers are sitting in the market looking to get filled. And again, why is that extremely powerful? Well, because we have a beautiful heat map where we can see where this is sitting at. Okay, it's not like a dome where it's just a bunch of numbers. Okay, we can visually see. Again, humans are visual beings. We are very much. If I tell you, look at an, if I tell you to, if I say elephant, are you going to think about the word elephant, or are you going to think about, a visual of an elephant? So we're very much visual beings. So that's why BOOKMAP is extremely powerful, being able to see visually where this liquidity is sitting in the stock market. Now, we understand the market wants to gravitate to major liquidity. Now, again, what is major liquidity? Major liquidity is something that we can see on $5 increments. Okay, so when we can see, we scroll over here in the $5 increment area. Now we can see, okay, where is the major liquidity? Okay, now again, we're dealing with a sub $100 stock here. So, with that said, whenever you start sucking in the $5, yeah, they don't necessarily have a ton of liquidity on all the $5 increments. But with that said, major liquidity sitting on 70 and 65, undeniable. So we understand that the market is very likely going to gravitate, or it is going to gravitate into these levels. Okay, it's not a matter of if, it's when. We just have to use our skills to understand, one, when we can either play to it, or when it gets there, our probabilities go even higher, because now we have strategies that we can take advantage of whenever it gets there. Okay, so we have 3 very powerful BOOKMAP strategies that we use to take advantage of playing to major liquidity, or when it gets there, taking advantage of it once it gets there. So with that said, we're going to look at SIG here. Came up on the scanner this morning. Again, when you're scanning for stocks, it's very simple. Okay, it's nothing fancy. You're just looking for the biggest dollar gainers first and foremost in the day. What's run the most from a dollar standpoint. Okay, and then from there, you're also looking at the percent gainers. Okay, so if you can't see anything, you don't find some nice stuff on the dollar gainers, then look at the percent gainers. So with that said, this came up very easily on the scan this morning. It was moving very nicely. So when you see a stock that's moving nice, you pull it up, see it on the scanner. What is your process from that point? Okay, so for me, first thing I want to do is, I want to identify the major liquidity in the book, in this case, 65 and 70, because they started the day right here around this 65 liquidity. All right, next thing I want to do is I want more perspective. So I need to find out what the ATR is. So let me flip over here to, the ATR. Also too, just to show you in the server here where we took advantage of this, because again, we're playing stuff, we're calling this stuff out in advance. Okay, these entries, they're coming out in advance. We don't do any hypotheticals. Well, oh, if you would have got here. No, this stuff is coming out in advance. Prime example here, SIG was in the 68s. We sent out the play for entry between 70 and 71. Okay, so this is, this stuff's coming out before. So it's not a situation here that you're gonna, that's not how we operate in the Precision Trader University. We want to be ahead of what's taking place. All right, so let me flip you over to, all right, so to build context, first thing I want to do to build some more context is I need to know what the ATR is. All right, I need to know what SIG's ATR is. So because that way I understand, hey, what is the potential? What is this stock's potential to be able to do? So with that said, I look here and I see that we just had earnings yesterday. Okay, we just had earnings yesterday. Either earnings today or what was it, today or no, they actually had earnings this morning. Okay, so they had earnings this morning. Okay, so I'm looking back at the previous earnings and seeing, okay, what was our ATRs on the earnings? All right, or the big days. So I see from here that we can have, it's possible to have a 10 ATR. 10, 12 ATR on an earnings, on an earnings event. They had one that was $9, close to $9. So anywhere from $9 to $12, they can absolutely do a $9 to $12 ATR on an earnings day. So I take now, now I have that in my mind. So I'm going to take that back to BOOKMAP. All right, so going back over to BOOKMAP. All right, so they start the day They started the day in the pre-market around 61, and then I think they start the open. No, they started the open around 61, 62. Okay, so I automatically know in my mind, hey, this thing can go $9 to $12 today. All right, so based on that, where's the major liquidity with that in mind? Well, look at all this monster liquidity up there at 70. Fits in the ATR perfectly, monster level. There's no major liquidity above it. So that's telling me, that's screaming to me, hey, this is their top. So there's going to be free money. You know, the ATM is sitting up at $70. Now, it's one of those that you can play. You could absolutely play 270. Couldn't blame you for, playing into that gravitational pull, that magnetic effect into, because again, the price is one side, one side of the magnet, and the liquidity is the other. And man, do they suck into each other. So with that said, they push, as we can see here, they push up to 70. Now, again, when they get there, because again, I like to give my traders time in advance to prepare themselves. All right, so when it got there, we were absolutely ready for it. Now, I did say that they could do some, front running here. I couldn't blame anybody that for wanted to get into half of their position, because again, I want you to learn how to break your positions up into quarters. Okay, so for example, if you're playing options, we do a lot of option trading, because with our strategies, we're in place for 2 to 20 minutes. That's our average for getting to take profits. Okay, so there's really no need for us to play shares. There's really not. I mean, we're not swinging these plays. Absolutely not. So why wouldn't we want to be able to, play them for very cheap? So that's why people with very small accounts have been able to be very, successful. And also too, we've been able to find a broker that will give you all your buying power back on your trades. So for example, if you're playing with $1,000, and let's say you're playing $200 contracts and you play 5 of them. Okay, so you're using all your buying power on this play. Well, as soon as you exit that play, even if you break even on it, you get in it, a couple minutes later, 5 minutes later, you get out for break even. Okay, in a normal cash account, you have no more buying power for the day. You're done. Whereas with this broker, you get all that buying power back, and then anything you made on the trade, you get to trade with that for the rest of the day as well. So superior advantage for anybody with a small account. So if you're interested in that, come over to the server. We've got all the details on how to get access to that server, and how to actually use it, set it up, all that kind of stuff. I don't, it's one thing to tell somebody how to, about a server. It's another, in my opinion, I like to be able to show them how to take advantage of it and how to set it up. So with that said, we were looking for our entry was 70 to 71. Now again, we want to be just, more times than not, we would be entering just below that. So 69, 69.70, 69.80s. That's when, you gotta be getting into that thing. Now there was a beautiful algo sitting on it. That's another thing we always, again, taking things into consideration. There was a big old algo sitting. Let me show that to you. There was a big old algo sitting at, let's see here, $70.36-ish. So again, we understand that there's a good chance they're going to suck into the, want to suck into the algo as well. So we'll get in there at 70 or just below 70. You got to understand it. Don't be surprised if they suck into the algo. The computer absolutely, or the market absolutely trades based on these algo, computer generated levels. Okay, these are coded algorithms for trading computers. They buy and sell off of these things like clockwork. They come onto our charts before the day. So again, we always want to pay attention to these as well, because if you would have, we've seen a beautiful example. They go right to the algo, and then where do they dump it out? This is where I told traders, hey, you're out of everything. If you want to hold a very small runner, you can. But again, we are out of here at this double algo. Okay, because we know vast majority of the time they love to pop it once they get to the algo, and especially a big double algo like this. So anyway, so we had that context. As well. So going back over to SIG, you just saw it happen on the chart, but let's see how it happened on BOOKMAP. So on BOOKMAP, they push up to the algo. They get to it right there in BOOKMAP. All right, and then from there, bam, they start dumping. And where they start dumping, they got a bunch of liquidity at the double algo. The double algo here at 68, and they got the BOOKMAP VWAP there at that spot as well, and then they proceed to bounce it there. So yeah, it's beautiful high probability money here. It was just an excellent Excellent example of some extremely, yeah, as close to free money as you can get in the stock market. I mean, it really is. So with that said, I could show you a lot of other examples here, Tesla and etc. But with that said, I'm gonna try to keep the video nice and concise. Hopefully got some value out of that. Again, if you'd like to see all this in live action, get us, yeah, come play along with us. Like I said, we're doing this every single day. So appreciate your time, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day.